Hey, and welcome to Caching in the Northwest, a podcast that I can now hear because while I was jamming out, I unplugged my headphones. Oops. Didn't know why it got so quiet. Hey, but in case you didn't know, this is the official podcast of GeoWoodstock 18 right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific, and I'm Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about you guys. We're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're stuck behind a truck convoy, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Well, tonight...
I'm going to tell my mom on you.
Okay. We're talking about sights to see in Washington State. If anybody has any thoughts at all about sights to see in Washington State, drop them into the chat, won't you? We know you will.
What are we talking about?
Sights to see in Washington State. Interesting. Sights and C. Don't start with C. As fond as you are of the letter C, it's not happening.
I am fond of the letter C.
You may be, but first, before we can get to the sights to see in Washington State, we have to bring in our traveling tamarind. Some say, why, he's as prickly as porcupine's pajamas. And others say he is required to wear a seatbelt during all podcasts. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How we doing, guys?
It's Thursday.
I know.
Here he is.
Not even at 3:30.
Thursday nights, 9 p.m. This is the sweet spot, right? It's like I've made it this far through the week. I get to hang out with my friends. I get to hang out with all the cool people in the live chat. Take a deep breath. All right.
The sweet spot with the sourpusses. Is that? Oh, wait.
Nah. But I'll tell you what else is sweet. Well, our Denali level sponsors. That's what's sweet.
Oh, yes.
And the first of which is, of course, Landsharks. And a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons, all of you awesome patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. And, of course, to Landsharks, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Now, Landsharks has reached out and reminded us to check our inboxes because the latest Landsharks newsletter has just landed. So did you see it, Chris? Did you go look?
This just in.
It's just in. There you go. Also, did you know that 2022 is the year of the hide?
I thought it was the year of the tiger.
I thought.
Well, I'm not sure what this is about. So
well, it's a tiger hide.
Maybe we'll have to read the newsletter and find out. But
tan your hide.
Yeah. It reminds me of my childhood. But to celebrate Landsharks, to celebrate the year of the hide, Landsharks have two new containers. They have a micro camo cache and ye olde rusty bolt. So
did they start off as clean bolts and they've just had them for years?
I think so. I think that's exactly what's happened. They left them outside by accident. So if you want to know more about those hides, new hide types, those new containers, check them out on landsharks.ca. And hey, a little bit of early news, but remember that Hag Hide and Go Find caches on Vancouver Island are being published this weekend. So the no geocachers in Vancouver Island are going to be home this weekend. They're all going to be out finding those brand new caches. It's not specifically Landsharks news, but it's definitely PNW news. So there you go. But yeah, check it all out at landsharks.ca. And of course, our other corporate Denali level sponsor, our good friends at Gold Country Geotourism. Now, we'll tell you to visit exploregoldcountry.com as we always do. But if you follow their social medias, Marcy is playing a game of hide and go find Marcy. She likes to post pictures and not tell you where she is, and it's a guessing game. So if you can identify where she is in Gold Country, I don't know what you win. Bragging rights, a free afternoon hanging out with Marcy. I don't know. I'm going to make up prizes, and she has to commit to them.
There you go.
But check out their social media. There's always cool stuff. This morning, there was a neat Instagram post telling you all about the bighorn sheep you can see when you go up there and explore Gold Country. So follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And of course, find out more at exploregoldcountry.com. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Explore Gold Country. And folks, if you want to know more about supporting this here podcast, well, I'll tell you what. Head on over to our website and click that Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
Yes. Yeah, I think we should win an evening with Marcy if we figure out all the places she's been.
All right, Marcy, you're up.
Okay. And that includes dinner and a show.
This prize is getting better. Keep going, Chris.
And dessert. I don't know. I've lost it now.
There's some great places up in Gold Country.
And she will personally drive you to each of the Gold Country Geo Tour locations
on her electric dirt bike.
Yeah, in one afternoon.
In one afternoon. All 148.
And
and then she will give you gold bars.
And then
there's no more in then. I'm all
she
done
will
with
remove her sponsorship from this show.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Marcy, we love you. All right.
Mild-mannered Marcy may be no more. No, she's wonderful. We
She's
thank
awesome. Lots of fun. All right.
Hey,
what else you got?
It's time for the glow. And you may be asking, what is the glow?
What is the glow?
Oh, thank you. Why, it's the geocaching log of the week. I really love the interaction we have on this podcast. This is a lot of fun. The geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. You can send an email or a recording to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can always call into 253-693-TFTC and show us how you glow. Tonight's glow comes from CRS 98.
That's right.
Wonder if he's watching the show tonight.
I wonder if he was CRS 97 when he sent this in.
It's possible, but I don't think
Okay.
so. CRS 98 found traditional cache. It's a real short one. Are you ready? GC 16. That's GC 16. Nice and short. It's a good one. And CRS 98 says, my daughter was moving apartments from a one-bedroom place in Tigard to a somewhat larger two-bedroom townhome in Hillsborough. And that meant that my wife and I were on the hook to help her move her collection of stuff. You'd be surprised how much you can pack into a one-bedroom apartment. So we moved her over the holiday weekend. And he says, fortunately, my daughter was well aware that using her old man to try and navigate a fairly new couch down 3 flights of stairs and then transport it across town, move it to a new place unscathed, well, that was pretty much a hopeless task. And she hired movers to do the heavy lifting. For some reason the word pivot comes to mind.
Pivot.
So he says my job was to occupy her 1-year-old Labradoodle so he wouldn't be in the way. Yeah, I think I know just how to do that. I've had GC 16 on the to-do list for years, but this was the first real opportunity to actually go and make the find. It was a fine hike up to Annie's cabin along what seems to have been an old railroad grade or something quite similar. While it was relatively warm, it wasn't nearly as hot as last weekend, and so I was happy that I still had more than enough water to get here. Last weekend's 110-ish temperatures would have turned me around if I'd even started to begin with. What is that, 45, 50 degrees, something like that? And
something like that.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's obscene hot. Yeah.
It's hot. It's like Tri-Cities hot.
Yeah.
He says, I'll admit that I was a bit surprised by the number of cross-trail spiderweb threads that I found when I walked up the side trail to get to this spot. I normally associate that sort of thing with August or early September in the Northwest. I wonder if the heat dome and immediate cool down to nominally normal temperatures may have induced the arachnids to spin a few more cross-trail threads than normal at this time of year. In any case, I found it useful to use my hiking stick in what I've always called the August position. That is, straight out in front of my face. That way the stick picks up the threads instead of me having to pick them out of my mustache. Insert your own visual here. Arriving at ground zero, it was a quick find. I exchanged trackables, snapped a bunch of pictures, and was just a bit more giddy than I should have been with any normal find. TFTC.
Awesome. Sounds like a great day out.
With a Labradoodle, how can it be wrong?
I know, right? I love nice, big, fun dogs. All right. Well, we have an active chat already, which is awesome.
Look at that. We sure do.
CRS98 is in the chat, as Chris brought him up earlier, and saying, "Hey, that's me," and it is you. And thank you, CRS98, for saying
Yeah, appreciate that.
All right. Chris, you want to remind people of tonight's hashtags, and I'll jump into some news?
He's either pulling our leg or he's
I'm
really
trying to
lost a microphone.
Sorry. I muted myself. I had to sneeze, and then I never unmuted myself. So I have just been talking. I've said some of the most deep and meaningful words that have ever come out of my mouth, but I'm loath to repeat them.
To your most interested audience you've ever had?
Yes, exactly. So it's just me again. All the wisdom has already been extinguished for the evening, and now you got this. Isn't Labradoodle fun to say?
Fun to play with, too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if you want to be involved in tonight's chat, don't use the hashtag Labradoodle. Use the hashtag travel and toss something into tonight's chat. And of course, you can always use the hashtag FTAS to bring something up for the after show. Get it? FTAS for the after show. FTAS.
I get it now.
Yeah, I know
what it stands for.
Wow.
I haven't described it in a while, and maybe we forgot.
We do tend to forget things.
It happens.
Who are you two again?
Yeah, well, Jim reminds you who we are.
We're caches with advanced years and short memories.
There you go. Let me share with you, good folks, a little bit of news. And despite the fact that I was giving Helen a hard time earlier, it is, in fact, been declared by HQ that 2022 is the year of the hide. And that was in their blog article that came out just very recently. 2022 is the year of the hide. They share with us that, of course, the game cannot exist without geocaches. It's kind of the point. I suppose it could if it's all earth caches, but let's not explore that at the moment. Some of those geocaches are older, almost historic, and many are beloved. But the game could not continue to flourish without new and refreshed cache hides. So that's why Geocaching HQ is inviting all of us to celebrate 2022 as the year of the hide. So all throughout this year, HQ in their blog and in other formats of communication will be diving deeper into all aspects of cache hiding, and as will we on the podcast as the year goes on. They will have a range of blog posts on cache ownership topics, as well as special projects to highlight and celebrate the cache hiders who create the worldwide game board of geocaching. Very cool here that as an example of keeping the game board fresh, they actually say in their blog, look to Canada for a great example, the annual Vancouver Island Hide and Go Cache, the HAG event. 18th year this year, encouraging cachers to review their existing hides and see if it's time to replace them for something new. As folks know, each HAG has a special theme, and last year they published more than 400 new geocaches on Vancouver Island as part of HAG. 400.
Is that possible?
400 new caches. That's awesome. If you are a geocacher on Vancouver Island, there's always, what a great way to keep the game going. Anyways, we'll talk more about Hag on another episode. However, more info about different stuff. You know what? Just go check out the geocaching blog. You can read it yourself instead of me reading it to you. Although if you really want me to read blog articles to you, I have a special service for that. You can reach me outside of the podcast, and we'll set something up. It'll be very reasonable cost.
But they have to be interesting blog articles.
I'll read anything for the right price.
Okay. Oh, Wet Coaster thought it was the year of the Jekyll, but no, it's the year of the Hyde. And a follow-up to our glow. So this is kind of an afterglow. Yeah. CRS 98 says, I have a new puppy of my own, also a Labradoodle.
Oh, nice.
I took her out to find her first cache last weekend.
Aw, awesome.
You know, if I had known that, I would have picked the glow to have read tonight. But I didn't know that, and I picked the glow to read tonight. So there you go. Nailed it. Hey, there's some other news in our area. If you're Northwesterners like we are, this Saturday is the kickoff event for the Discover Roseburg Land of Umpqua geocache series.
I'm sorry, I cannot take that name seriously.
The
Roseburg?
People do.
It reminds me of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Anytime I hear Umpqua.
It's Umpqua.
Okay.
Umpqua. See, still giggles.
That's much better. That makes it so much better, Chris.
Yeah.
Now it's not funny at all to me. Please go on.
Okay. So the city of Roseburg is going to this event is hosted by the Parks and Rec Department. It's a free event designed to draw people from the outside of the area so they can experience more of the city and the business community. The staff will give verbal directions and coordinate containing passports at 9 a.m. at the large pavilion at Stewart Park. The event is expected to last till about 2, and it will be held the day after 5 geocaches are hidden around town. Yes, 5. But wait, there's more. Participants will hunt for those geocaches plus 15 virtual caches. Those who find all 20 can redeem their passports for a limited edition geocoin or metal token with a tracking ID number. Isn't that a coin?
Maybe.
I guess it's maybe not a coin. It's probably no. Anyways, yeah.
It's trackable, though.
So I'm thinking 15. So 5 geocaches and 15, what they say, virtual geocaches. Do you think Adventure Labs?
I'm thinking 5 Adventure Labs.
Probably, yeah.
Or 15 Adventure Labs? Yeah. Okay.
Or 3. Sorry, 3 Adventure Labs, right?
5
finds each, or
if they
one
paid
of
HQ for it, they could have 10.
Yeah,
they could.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but yes.
Now the kicker is there's only 200 geocoins available.
Ooh.
So the challenge will continue until the geocoins don't continue.
All right. So remind me relative to Seattle, where is this?
It's down I-5. It's rough. I want to say roughly halfway down the state of Oregon.
I was going to go with 2/3 down.
Yeah.
A little more than halfway down.
A little farther than half. It's
Okay, so
past
this is in
Salem.
Oregon. Okay,
It's
that
Oregon.
was not mentioned in the article. Okay.
Chris and I did
Roseburg,
this.
Oregon.
I don't know if this event or a similar event in Roseburg a couple of years ago. Had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
It's a
Very
great
cool.
little town.
Yeah, it's a nice, easy walking town, and some of the caches were driving distance outside of town, but still very easy to complete the passport in the day we had, and we didn't even push it that hard. So
We didn't push it real good.
No. We even backtracked a couple times thanks to horrible navigation by me. So
Well done.
I don't remember that part. I
do.
remember we had fun together.
Here's a navigational tip
Near
from
Crater
Iham.
Lake?
He says it's near Crater Lake. So there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iham.
Yeah, it was
There you
one of
go.
those times that we finished. It's like, we're all done. It's like, what? And we're not done. Let me zoom out. Oh, I didn't zoom out far enough. We need to go back north. Okay.
Back to the earlier topic I was talking about. I missed this earlier, but Minimag shares that they are trying to hide 100 caches this year. That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good luck on that.
That's 1/4 of the hag hides.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Nice. Well, go do it.
Yeah, and
Let us know. Let us
keep
know
us
how you're
posted,
progressing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll go find them for you
Ooh,
just to test them, you know,
All right.
so that they're okay for others.
it's very kind of you.
All right. Well,
Well, hold on. Before we
Yes.
get into that, we kind of jumped out of order. I've got a little question here from Limax that I want to ask.
Okay.
Or have him ask, and we talk about.
Okay.
Ready? Here we go.
Good day, gentlemen. This is Limax. Just listening to your show with Marcy of Adventure Smart, and I came up with a kind of a curiosity question as a result of that. Actually, talking about REI having classes. I took a class at REI many years ago on using trekking poles, and I've used my trekking poles off and on. Unfortunately, I don't use them as much because I look at them as more of an ego thing than anything else. It's like, oh gosh, nobody else around me is using them. Why should I use them? But I was wondering what your opinion is on them, and if you do use them when you go on those longer hikes or whatever, or is it just something else that gets in your way? Decide to ask. Thanks. Bye.
I thought that fit in with CRS's 98's August position of his hiking pole.
yes.
I didn't know there was an August position, or maybe it was a goose.
Now you know.
But
Augustus Gloop.
I was going to say also from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Hmm. Augustus Gloop. Yes,
Hey, maybe that's a theme for tonight.
Mm.
it could be.
I like chocolate.
Yes, the suspense is terrible.
Isn't it?
I hope it'll last.
So hiking poles. Now I went out and many years ago, I bought one and I thought, well, should I get two? No, I only need one. And I wish I had bought the matching.
I didn't know
Pole,
you could just buy one.
Well, you can get one, you know, it's a hiking stick. It's collapsible, fits in the car, and it's very useful, not only for, you know, tapping on, thing, you know, sticking it
Tupperware
into
probe?
holes. Yes. To determine if there's a ammo box under there.
Mhm.
But I do use it from time to time on longer hikes, usually something with elevation, you know, just to give you that extra little stability and grip. Now, do you gentlemen use hiking poles? 1, 2, how many ever you happen to have with
I
you?
don't have a set of hiking poles. I have a walking stick, a hiking staff, if you will. Great for
Okay,
saying you
Gandalf.
shall not pass kind of thing, you know. But I don't use it a lot, but on longer hikes, I have used it and been very grateful for it.
There you go. I do have hiking poles. I don't use them all the time. It depends on where I'm going and what we're doing. Definitely in the winter, they're nice to have because it just gives you a little more stability if it's a
Yeah.
little icy, or slippery on the trail, or even when things are really wet and you got to cross something. It's good to have, and that's why I like the collapsible ones, because you can fold them down and stick them in your pack or attach them to the side of your pack or whatever. So they don't really tend to get in the way at all. And I know that was one of the questions that that Limax asked is, do they get in the way? And if you get the right kind, no, they don't, because you can just put them away and they're not in the way. I see there's some feedback in the chat as well.
Yes. So Wino Seattle says, yes, trekking poles, my speciality. Lame on the ego. I hear where he's coming from. Now Sprouter says, I use them for sure. And if you don't, you're wrong.
There you go.
I guess that finishes the topic right there.
Yeah, there you go. Breiling says, trekking poles help my knees, especially on the downhill.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wino says the best hiking poles are from REI, which are made by
Clumperdell.
Clumperdale. top 3 brand in the world. And the best brand is Black Diamond. Carbon poles are far lighter than aluminum, but aluminum are stronger.
Yeah. Komikino has a utility hiking pole that includes a knife that you can screw onto the end of the handle and use it as a harpoon. That sounds handy for
As you do.
As one would, yeah.
Yeah.
I would just leave it on there all the time.
There you go.
It, makes hiking that much more of a challenge.
And, again, the old thing of, if you encounter a bear, well, you can just
Harpoon.
stab the leg of the compatriot you're with, and
That's right.
you're in good shape.
Bear spray in one hand, harpoon in the other, you're ready to go.
What else have we got?
Lori, Seaback Tribe, says, I love my collapsible and are great for breaking up ice around a frozen ammo can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good use.
Komikino says, Costco sells some good hiking poles every spring/summer.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. So yeah, sounds like a lot of us use them. They are quite effective.
Mm-hmm.
I also have zero ego, so I'll use whatever helps me get up the mountain better.
Yeah. I see people using them all the time. I chatted with Brylang earlier and said, so if he uses 2 hiking poles, and I said, so if you need to, take one hand free to use your phone or what have you, what do you do with that hiking pole? Is you use the strap and just let it dangle around your wrist? I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
He says, no, I don't use the straps. He says, I just put both in one hand and use the phone.
There you go.
So.
Way to be simple.
I know. So yeah, get some hiking poles and don't be afraid to use them. No, I shouldn't say that. Don't be afraid. Don't be conscious of using them. Self-conscious.
Yeah.
Just use them. You know what?
Although Seaback Tribe has already raised the fact that fewer people are going to want to hike with Komikino now. So.
Or maybe more.
There you go. And Komikino says that when he hiked to Monte Cristo last summer, he had his harpoon hiking pole as well as his bear spray. So there you go. Exactly kitted out like Chris advised.
See?
There you go. And
you think I'm making this stuff up.
Wet Coaster has one more. And they say they have a pair of hiking poles. So that would be Wet Coaster and Greenwords. And when we remember to get them out of the car, we each use one pole. Oh, I see. So they have one pair between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they each use one. Okay, that's smart. That works.
And then hold hands. And then, yeah.
Well, and that's been what I've found is the biggest reason that I don't use mine is simply because I forgot to get out of the car before we go down the trail. I get tired and I go, oh yeah, that stick is in, because mine is collapsible. Well, semi-collapsible. It unscrews in sections. It's not like paracord thing or whatever. Anyway, good. Use them. Don't be embarrassed. It's fun. They help.
Indeed.
Use them or lose them. I drunkenly did in Whistler. Forgot a pole once.
Whoops.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens.
So what I'm hearing is if you can't afford a pole, there's a free one in Whistler. Just head up, look for it. I mean, Whistler's not that big. How hard could it be to find it?
Exactly.
And I looked at the map. It's like this big. So.
I think you got it nailed right there.
Okay. Well, speaking of things to see in Washington, this is from the onlyinyourstate.com website, /Washington. There's an epic road trip. Did you know that there's an epic road trip in Washington? Apparently just one.
There's more than one.
I don't know if this article says just one.
Oh,
and
that's disappointing.
It leads to 5 iconic landmarks right here in Washington. The question comes up as the article starts. What comes to mind when you think of Washington's most famous landmarks? Anything?
Chris's house.
I was going to say my house.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Well, we have, from ocean beaches to national parks, there is just a lot of great things to see here.
It is a beautiful state, and I cannot wait until I don't have to get a COVID test to come back home, and I will be down there.
You don't have to, depending on if you travel legally or not. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. This particular road trip takes you to 5 of the Evergreen State's most iconic landmarks. You can start off at the stunning Snoqualmie Falls.
Okay. Yep.
They're always stunning, more so in the spring snowmelt runoff
Mhm.
or in the heavy rain flooding periods, because it's amazing how much water thunders over that.
And you know what? Those are better times to go anyways, because you
Yeah.
can get parking those times a year.
Yeah.
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 Summer, not so good. I mean, the falls are still spectacular,
Oh, yeah.
but they've lost a little luster with, just a trickle of water in comparison.
In
going over
comparison. It's probably still a considerable amount if you looked at the
Oh,
volume, but
Definitely.
Yeah.
More than I
Yeah.
want to pay for my city water district.
Yeah.
So speaking, let's talk about Snoqualmie Falls for a minute, because I visited them, I think twice. One time, Chris, with you, you and Laura and I went when we were doing the when the
GeoCoin Fest.
GeoCoin Fest was there. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you, Jim. Uh, and and we went out in the observation deck, and I think Laura and I stopped by there once before, maybe, and went to the observation deck. But is there a trail that you can take down to the bottom of the falls?
I know there are trails. I don't know if you can get all the way to the bottom of the falls or not.
Okay.
It-
Because I
it's a
would
pretty-
love to get down there.
Yeah, it's a pretty steep canyon. There's probably 8 trillion mosquitoes down there. Oh no, that's a different falls. Um,
That's Mosquito Falls.
yes, but that observation deck that you mentioned, the nice thing about that, if you're in a hurry or if you're not up to a large hike, is that you don't have to hike very far at all. You don't really even have to hike. It's a paved trail right up to that observation deck. And Sprouter
Yeah.
says yes, you can.
Thank
hike
you,
to the bottom of the
Sprouter.
falls.
And if you don't, you're just wrong.
Yes,
I threw that part in.
that was kind of understood.
Iham says, yes, it's not a bad climb.
Okay,
And I'll throw in, use your hiking poles.
There you go.
that would help. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've not hiked down. I've been at the top. Hence the reason I didn't know if it was actually a trail or not. But yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. There's a hydroelectric plant there, I think. Well, maybe in
Nearby.
the before times you could take tours. I don't know if you could do anything anymore. But yeah, there's lots to see up there. I think there's even is there a fish something? Anyway.
A hatchery?
Oh, I'm not sure. There might be. Sprouter says there's a trail to the bottom, and you can park down there. Well, you can always park at the bottom of a canyon once. Just about any canyon.
Yeah.
Recovery of the vehicle might be on the difficult side for some.
It's getting the truck out again.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a great place to start. It's not far from Seattle. It's on I-90 heading up towards Snoqualmie Pass, North Bend.
Yeah.
It's a great landmark. There's a big restaurant and a hotel there if you want to just not rough it, stay in the lap of luxury and have a gourmet meal. It's a great place.
That is a pretty fancy place. Yeah, I recall
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's a great place if you want to propose to your fiance and or make a woman your fiance and later your wife. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
One of the three of us did that, and it wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
No.
Wasn't
But I-
me. Wait.
Oh,
Wait a
yeah. My wife and I did have an anniversary dinner there one time, so maybe that
That counts.
similar. Once you're through up there, whether you've proposed to your girlfriend or not, head south for about 2 hours. You'll reach Mount Rainier National Park. It's another breathtaking, spectacular feature, and you could spend days exploring every corner of that, the Wonderland Trail and all kind of stuff there. You could, there are even summits, hikes to the summit. Another thing I've never done that Jay could jog up and down and before lunch.
Not
Okay,
to the summit.
maybe before
The
dinner,
summit
but-
of Mount Rainier is that's not just a regular hike. You actually need to have the proper equipment for that.
Yeah, you have to have the right equipment. You have to have a guide. Well, I don't know if you have to, but they do lead guided tours up there. I believe it's so popular that you have to actually get permission from a lottery to.
I was going to say,
get one of those trips.
you have to get a pass
Yeah.
of some sort.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And from what I understand, it's a 2-day event. You leave the base camp there at Paradise, I think. You hike fairly far up one night, overnight there, and then the next day you summit and then return all the way to Paradise. Because once you hit the summit, it's all downhill from there.
That's
Kind
right.
of like my life. but it's spectacular up there. I've seen the pictures. I don't know why they don't just have an escalator or something to
Mhm.
get you there, because
Ski lift. How
yeah,
hard could it be?
I know.
Little
Come on,
trolley car.
little rope tow.
Mhm.
Should be fine.
Yeah.
When they do that, I'm there.
I'll tell you though, even if you're not going to make it up the summit, Mount Rainier National Park it's beautiful, and the cool thing is that we explored it intensively when they had that geocoin challenge,
Mhm.
the 100 different caches in and around Mount Rainier.
I heard about that. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. We got to see all kinds of different places and spend quite a bit of time on the different sides of the park, mostly because every time we came, a road was closed due to snow. So we had to reroad around.
It happens up there.
It does happen up there. It's you can get up to some pretty high elevations, especially the pass once you're past the Paradise. But that whole area is amazing. And if you stop in Paradise, there is an earth cache there that is super duper cool. You need to complete the earth cache properly. You need to take some measurements in the springs nearby.
Mhm.
And if you go into the ranger station, they will lend you the measurement equipment you need to do that earth cache.
How
Like, how
convenient
cool
is
is
that?
that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
cool. Well, all of Mount Rainier National Park is loaded with earth caches.
Oh, yes. Even one of
There's
yours?
well, one of mine is nearby, yes. But one of mine is nearby. I have one earth cache, and I'm proud of it.
So it's one of yours. Yeah.
Speaking of summiting, IHAM says Team Noltek's son has summited several times.
Ah,
So perhaps
Very
he'll carry us up one times.
There you
perhaps. Yeah.
Sprouter agrees with you. That's one of the coolest earth caches.
go. Yeah, that one's awesome.
And then there's earth cache where you need to take temperature readings at Longmire.
It's a Longmire. Okay, I thought it was at. Okay, thank you very much, Monkey Cakes.
Longmire is a slightly lower elevation on the way up to Paradise, but still gorgeous area.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
CRS 98 also correcting me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Still extra cool, though.
Extra cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Mount Rainier National Park, the whole park is extra cool. Camping, hotels, restaurants, it's great. And caches, lots of caches.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in the state, you've got to go to Paradise. I would say once a year. That would be my goal, is just to go up there. That's the easiest for us on this side of the mountain. Paradise is to get to, and it's worth just going up and walking around there for the day.
Okay. Well, I'm way behind. I think I've been there 3 times.
Maybe I have too, but it's still a goal. I didn't say I achieved it.
Okay. Fair enough. So, yeah, go up there and see it before it blows its top and becomes a big crater like one mountain to the south. Another few hours, that's Mount St. Helens. Used to be a big pointy peak just like Mount Rainier. Not anymore.
It was a perfect cinder cone.
Yeah.
Boy, somebody screwed that up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Wait, who?
We
Oh.
can blame Harry S. Truman if you like, because he lived there and went down with the ship or out with the mountain or whatever. But
And
he
not
was
the
one
president.
he was one of 57 people killed when the mountain erupted in May of 1980. But who can blame him? That was a gorgeous area, Spirit Lake, and that whole area looked fantastic. And if I was in his position, I might just stay there at my cabin as well. Things are a lot calmer, though, than they were in 1980. Fascinating to see. I know there's an earth cache or 2, maybe more.
Oh, Joy
Yeah, in there. Yeah, I think I did Joy's earth cache there.
at Spirit Lake.
The visitor center is pretty incredible. The one thing about Mount St. Helens is you got to want to go there, because basically every road in the area was obliterated when the mountain blew up. And so now there's a road all the way into the Johnson Ridge Observatory, and then you have to drive all the way back out. You can't just go on your way somewhere else.
Okay.
So, but it's worth going by all means.
Mm-hmm. Definitely is. I'm just going to talk some more about
Please.
Mount St. Helens. My son wanted to go camping, and I picked, let's go to Mount St. Helens. So we went to a nearby campground, spent the night there, went in the morning to, Mount St. Helens. Absolutely loved it. It was gorgeous.
So are the forests coming back in now?
Oh, yes. Yes. And Spirit Lake, which was just filled with ash, is clear again. You can still see ash on the bottom. You can stir it up. But plant life and fish have returned. And you look at the water and you go, this water is just crystal clear. How is this possible?
Wow.
So, yeah, it's incredible. It's one of my favorite places that I've gone in the state of Washington. If you want to, you can take a path around Mount St. Helens. It's not that long. I couldn't convince my son to do it at the time. Oh, look at this. There you go. Yes, Chris, the Mount St. Helens is absolutely stunning. I'm sorry. I'm seeing your real name and
Sprouter.
It just confuses me enough. I can't come up with your caching name, Sprouter. And I look at it and I go, wait, I can do this. He saw the eclipse at Mount St. Helens.
That's neat.
Yeah. And Komakino says even Bigfoot has returned.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
everything's back to normal.
Yeah.
Ish.
Ish.
It's
There
out
you go.
there. It's beyond the environment. There's nothing out there but water and fish and trees. Yeah.
Yep.
Vancouver, this is it. The word
Mhm.
spoken from the geologist or the volcanologist. I forget. Stephen Johnson? Anyway, that Johnson Ridge was named after the scientist there. So, fascinating place. Definitely one of the 5 places on the iconic stops on the road trip. And just south of that, if we're continuing south in our journey, well, the Ape Cave lava tubes are there.
Not to be confused with the Ape Cache and
No.
the Tunnel of Light.
No relation at all. Distant ape cousin? Maybe. Still in the primate kingdom. Not the same thing. Ape Cave is one of the longest lava tubes in the world. I'll have you know. It's over 2 miles long. So,
Wow.
it was formed during a Mount St. Helens eruption, but not the one in 1980 you're thinking of. This one was a couple thousand years ago. Slightly before my time.
Very cool.
Just a little bit.
In my early 20s, Laura and I and some friends went down to the Ape Caves and hiked through them. And that was quite an experience. I remember doing that.
From what I understand, I've not actually been there. It's on my list of places I want to go. It's not very COVID friendly from what I've understood, and they've closed it recently.
That would make sense given the last
Given the
year or
lack of
so.
ventilation and such.
Yeah.
So hopefully one of these days it'll open up again. I'd like to go see those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, my son and I went there when we stayed there. And Wits End, you're exactly right. You know, you're at Mount St. Helens in the Ape Caves as the crow flies is, 20 miles away, but you have to go 60 out to the highway, down and back in to get to them.
Yeah.
There's no roads that connect in between.
Yeah, there's something about lahars and pyroclastic flows that doesn't really conducive to highways. But
There you go.
this is Landsharks said they visited St. Helens on CA Day.
Canada Day.
Canada Day. That's July 1. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. A few years ago. And we still need to log all the earth caches. Whoops.
Oh,
That'll mess up
You
your
still have the
milestones there,
answers.
won't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I know there are earth caches there. There's a physical cache right near the entrance to the cave. At least there was. And I found it. I might have been the last one. Who knows? I tracked those things, but I didn't track this one.
Well, I know Seattle is wondering if anybody has GC codes anywhere near them so that he can orient himself to where they are. Well, I know Seattle said-
GCAPECAVES.
There you go. CRS 98 does say yes, there is an earth cache there. I would think there must be. But yeah, I would love to go back and visit again.
Yeah, those are a lot of, and I could see why they totally closed them for COVID. With you're in a cave, there's not a lot of great light there. You do need passes to get to Mount St. Helens and Ape Caves, and I don't remember which ones now.
Oh, to actually hike out there.
to drive out there, yeah, to park and such. We were talking about that with the Ape event
Right.
last week, that you need, your Discovery Pass, your Washington or your Forest Pass.
Mhm.
So I can't come up with what that is. There's something. Yeah.
It's one of those. Okay.
All right, and hey, as long as we're heading south, let's continue one more. The fifth stop, maybe the best, maybe not. We don't like to play favorites. It's the mighty Columbia River, the mighty Columbia Gorge. It cuts right through the Cascade Mountains. There's an abundance of outdoor recreation, more waterfalls. I think Multnomah Falls is on there. There's several other ones down there. There's towns on both the Washington and the Oregon side. Columbia River at that point is the border between Oregon and Washington State. And yeah, it's high on the list. There's a lot to see in the Columbia, all the way from way up in I'm thinking the laser show and the dam that I'm escaping in central Washington. The name escapes me all of a sudden. Columbia River goes all the way down through there, through Vantage, and all the way out to the mouth of the river at the Pacific.
Yeah.
Grand Coulee Dam. That's
Grand Coulee, man.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks, Brylang.
Yeah. That Grand Coulee is everybody knows it except us.
And the Grand Coulee, that's not far from the oh shoot, what's that? It's almost like a Grand Canyon kind of.
The Steamboat Rock is right there.
Oh, okay.
Steamboat Rock
I'm probably
State Park.
thinking a different area. I get Highway 2 and Highway 20 mixed up because it's been a while since I've
Oh,
driven
okay.
around.
Highway 2 is up north and totally worth the trip.
Yes.
Just to go drive that.
Yeah.
Grand Coulee is not far from Soap Lake, isn't it? With the paradoxical ooze that rules the world.
Yep.
There's a lava lamp.
One of Seattle is saying if you are heading down towards Vancouver, Washington, in that area, along the mighty Columbia, the Bonneville Geo Tour, 8 caches with those fun Bigfoots. That is a great little Geo Tour. Lots of fun.
8 or 10? I can't remember, but not many. You can knock them out in an afternoon.
It's a beautiful little walk. Yeah.
If you can get to all of them.
Yep. Yeah.
I got all but one because of a flood, but nonetheless, not that I'm bitter or anything.
Hey, and if you're heading down I-5 between Snoqualmie and eventually Columbia, I think you go pretty close to that GC16 that we read a glow about. So just saying, it's GC16, GC12 also in there. Is that right?
Yep. 12 and 16 are doable in a day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. It was 10.
It was 10.
Now it's 8. There you go.
I think I got the 8, and I had to go back and get the other 2 in order to get the souvenir. You got to make the trip. If you're going to do it, you got to finish it.
Yeah.
Wino says there's a dam tour at the Grand Coulee Dam, and includes the Rocky Reach Dam and the Chief Joseph Dam. Get a D3 patch and a D3 coin.
Is that it's not a geocaching related thing, is it? It's like just a tour of
I
tour
think
all
it's
3
just a
dams.
tour.
Still, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. The laser show is totally worth watching. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. We stayed at Steamboat Rock State Park.
Neat
down
park.
there it was a lot. Yeah.
There's a nice lake there, right? At Steamboat Rock Park.
Let's say yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. We've definitely been there. Anyways, it's been so long. Need to go back to Washington. So 5 interesting stops.
Not including Grand Coulee Dam. That was your bonus.
Right?
No, that was a bonus. Yeah.
That's why we love our chat, because you guys are going to pull out stuff. So maybe to the chat, like, what are places that if you said someone's visiting Washington State, you gotta go there. And I thought early on Comikino had, or somebody had thrown a few in there. It was Winos. Here we go. It was early on. Winos out. Goldmeyer Hot Springs, Zilla Teapot Gas Station. Absolutely, that's a neat spot.
Yep.
Hats and Boots Soto.
Yep.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's a big hat shaped building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What does Soto mean?
South downtown, South Seattle.
Oh, in Seattle. Okay, perfect. Thank you. 1958 Ambassador station wagon on the water, a half-mile dead east of the back of the stage at the gorge.
Hmm.
All right, there you go. That is
Okay.
pretty
And that all
specific.
goes back to wits ends, saying you can park anywhere once.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And some of the neat places and neat things that we've seen exploring Washington when we've headed down to the Tri-Cities event in years past, we've had the opportunity to take little detours and see some just really, really neat
Mhm.
places and things. It's a beautiful state.
Yeah, the Wild
also-
Horses Monument there, and
Mhm.
Yes, I was thinking
Yeah.
of that one. That one's really neat.
Well, this one I think focuses more on Western Washington. We should do another one that focuses on Eastern Washington and the places to stop there.
Mhm.
So it's it's really two different states.
yeah,
It kinda
climate
is.
wise,
Yeah.
Mhm.
climate
Same with
wise,
BC.
politics wise, all those things. Yeah.
Komikino says places to visit in Seattle for caches, I guess, and outside of Seattle. Um, the number one, the Ape Tunnel for the Ape Cache.
Mhm.
3 letters I'm not going to say or the podcast ends.
I was going to end it. I had my finger over the button.
Of course, HQ and the Monte Cristo hike and the ghost town there, which absolutely so much fun. Still,
Yeah.
such great memories of doing that hike with you guys and a bunch of our listeners.
Good times. You remember that time we went on the hike to the ghost town? Yeah.
I
It's the
do.
Seattle area.
The Seattle area. There you go, Komikino. Nicely played.
The greater Seattle area.
Yeah.
That kind of goes from Everett to Portland.
And from Spokane to the ocean. Yeah.
RE54321 throws out the Wallula Gap on the Columbia near Tri-Cities. Absolutely. Yep. Totally agree. That's very beautiful area too. What's his name, Chris?
Boy, that's Sprouter. And he's talking about the Hoh Rainforest, Nia
Yeah.
Bay and Long Beach. The Hoh Rainforest, if you want to go there, beautiful, totally worth it. The Hall of Mosses
It's fascinating.
is something you can just walk through for hours. It also in there in the Hall of Mosses has the quietest inch on Earth. So there you
Right.
go.
And so
You
for
can go
people who
find
aren't
that.
familiar with where these things are, we're talking about the Olympic Peninsula, right? This is
Mhm.
all
Yes.
in
Yes.
that area. And yeah, we've visited most
West
of those.
Seattle. Yes.
Yeah. Laura and I haven't been to the Hoh Rainforest, but we have been to Nia Bay and Long Beach and
Mhm.
and driven all around otherwise through when we did the Geo Tour.
Mhm.
That used to be there. I don't think it's still there, but yeah, absolutely. Just a wonderful, beautiful experience exploring all of the Olympic Peninsula. Seebeck Tribe throws out
Yeah.
the Palouse area. Absolutely.
Yes, the Palouse is just beautiful to drive through. Very calming, rolling hills. Nothing like you're going to see on the west side. Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's so hard to say here's 5 stops we have to go to in Washington State.
Yeah.
We have such a great variety. We know you're going to come out in August. And here are some things that are really worth seeing.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, with that all said,
We said it all.
probably time to thank our listeners for tuning in and hoping that you enjoyed this episode. And of course, I want to take a moment to thank Landsharks and Gold Country Geotourism, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. And remember, they are shipping online orders daily. And for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, check out exploregoldcountry.com and find out what prizes Chris is committing Marcy to this week. All right. Well,
we could
folks,
change them every week.
Good.
it'll change every week, Marcy. We guarantee that. We want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That is, of course, Landsharks, who are in the chat and telling us that they did not make up the year of the hide. Gold Country Geo Tour, who we are making up their prizes this year. Team Squirrel,
which is making up some locations to visit.
correcting us. Groovy Owl, and of course, Cachely, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting this show, click that Patreon link on the cachingnw.com, a website.
Just like Team Noltex did.
And GeoNav Pros.
And the Camp Clan.
Genies.
It'd be Pendragon.
Tick-a-magnet.
Hey, how about Greenwords? One half of the pole team.
And the other half is Wet Coaster.
Oh, hey, look at that. They're together.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's cute.
As they should be.
Not a member of the pole team, but still love him. And Tejas.
And Korsgat.
And Keats 94.
Subway Mark.
How about Ackerdock?
How about CRS 98 with a glow?
There you
And
go.
a
Now-
Labradoodle.
And a
Labradoodle.
Labradoodle. Now, I know I've seen her in the chat tonight, and it's UDAC.
And Logwork.
And Kettle Barb.
And you talks to rocks.
How about somebody who calls in and asks a question like Limax?
Way to go, Limax.
How about somebody with a snazzy suit like Kev MacD?
How about somebody who says they're of Washington, but they're hardly ever in Washington? It's Peach of Washington.
Oh, maybe you should just call her Peach of wherever.
Peach of the USA.
Peach of the
How
world.
about- How about the guy with the great name and good travel tips, Sprouter?
And how about Kitty Quest?
And how about Boomer 365?
Oh, that was back to back. That was nice.
And he's on a boat.
Kid Vegas 19.
The Geo Travelers.
Broncos fan for life.
Dora Moore.
Sege Hove.
T. Sayer.
Gas Station Tuna. Now I'm hungry.
Donners.
LG 9000.
Skyhawker.
Fairwood West.
3 hams in a rose.
RE54321.
You got them all. Well done. And providing us tons of travel tips tonight, it's Wino Seattle.
And of course, Seebeck Tribe.
Don't forget M Nerve.
Don't forget our favorite DJ, MC3 Cats.
How about GSM times 2?
Just finding our way.
And remember to say his name right now, Trexer.
Oh, yeah, it's like those Trexer poles.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. He's so timely. And of course, Alarobrick. Folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. Now, if you didn't like the show, let us know what you would like us to talk about, because we'll probably do it. In either case, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. You can subscribe, give us a review, even a thumbs up. Now, you can always call into 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, or rent us an Uber anytime to get around this beautiful state. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Join us live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show, and as we proved tonight, even livelier chat. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2022 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
the after show.
You did it. Whew. It's the after show. Now what?
I don't know. Because the Wino Seattle had one for the after show talking about the different spots to visit.
No, but I grabbed it early.
Yeah, kind of our Route 66 type attractions.
Right. Oh, here's
When I
another
say
one.
that-
I was going to say, there was another one, yeah.
There was
Oh,
another
okay.
one from Winos. Fatas. Marrowstone Island. I don't know where that is.
Mm-mm.
Middle of the bone, I guess. I don't.
Yeah. Fort Casey, I know where that is. That's a neat place. That's on Whidbey, isn't it?
It's
Or am I
up
getting
that
my
way.
forts mixed up?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Cemetery Island. Stewart
People are
Island.
dying to get there.
There's a
Ah.
theme going here. And the Peace Arch, which has never closed still.
Oh,
And Sprouter replies with, well, just all of Washington.
really? I mean, Washington is gorgeous.
Yeah.
There are places I've been to. I'm like, wow.
Ooh, here's a
You
good one
deliver.
from Komikino, Deception Pass.
Oh yeah.
You know, Eastern Washington, I really like the Stonehenge monument, tribute, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like 3/4 size.
Mm-hmm.
Got a Fatas from Winos. Here you go. Here's a question for the three of us. He's asking, can we as listeners or patrons make content suggestions on possible show subject matter? And absolutely you can.
Oh, yeah.
We look forward to that kind of feedback. Where would be the best place for people to send those requests, Chris?
Well, obviously, feedback at cashingnw.com. And while you're at it, you can call into 253-693-TFTC. Now, there you've only got, 3 or 5 minutes to say your message. So if you call in, you have to be somewhat concise. And if you don't get it all in the first time, it's okay. People call in 2 and 3 times to get it just right. Don't worry about it. And I'll make you sound good.
There you go. Keats had some Cape Disappointment.
Oh, yes. It's not a disappointment.
No,
Though it's
No, not
named
at all.
that way.
And Mini Mag said the San Juan Island area.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous.
Whale watching. Go there at the right time of year to watch the whales.
Winos didn't quite catch it. Chris, do you want to say the email address again?
I would love to. Feedback at cashingnw.com. Here, let me copy that
Uh,
and paste it in
funny.
to the show notes. So feedback at
And
cashingnw.com.
Bri Lang's dropped it all in the chat there as well. Thank you, Bri Lang.
Perfect.
Cool. All right. Well, I've got a little bit of hashtag FATAS just for Land Monkeys Adventures. The second half, well, it's not the second half, it's because there's going to be 3 episodes. The middle episode, the second, third, I don't know.
Stuck in the
Anyways.
middle with you?
Yeah, pretty much. The middle episode of our 3-part series of exploring the Sunshine Coast and Vancouver Island on the Pacific Coast Circle tour goes live tomorrow morning. So 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Pacific Coast Circle. So you're going like up through Alaska, down through Japan,
Yes.
and back around? Okay.
Yes. That's
Circle
exactly
Tour,
what it is.
Circle Tour 2, end of the trilogy.
There you go.
Wait,
So it is episode 2, and we're going to explore and take you to some really cool places in Port Renfrew. No, it's not.
Ruh-roh.
I said Port Renfrew. That's totally wrong. Powell
Ruh-roh.
River. I don't know. I always do that. I always switch those 2 town names for some reason. Anyways, we're going to take you to some cool places in Powell River, including an adventure lab, an earth cache, and of course, and a First Nations fish hatchery that we're going to tour you around. That's really cool. And
Nice.
from there, we're going to head on the ferry over to Comox on Vancouver Island. We're going to make a milestone geocache find for the land monkeys there. And then head down and find some other cool stuff. So watch the episode and don't forget to watch to the end because we've got some bloopers in on the end that'll give you a little chuckle.
What? Bloopers.
Yeah.
Hey,
Outtakes.
Jake Carr said just got out of a work meeting. Seems kind of late, but good for you. The Mausoleum on San Juan Island and Stonehenge outside of Goldendale.
yeah, Goldendale's fun. There's also, I think, an observatory at Goldendale.
Where's Goldendale? I've never heard of this.
It's southern central. It's like
Mhm.
west of the Tri-Cities, south of Yakima-ish.
And there's
So-
a Stonehenge there.
Yeah, it's along the Columbia River.
That's cool.
When we were there, really windy, but so worth it. Then also Sam Hill, who's the one who built that, and that was kind of my parents would say, "What in the Sam Hill?"
Yeah, I was about
Well,
to say that.
Yeah, this is Sam Hill, And then it's down. It's near the what's the museum there? The Maryhill Museum.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked at it recently to know if this is still accurate, but near that area there was also one of the places that's on the registry of dark places, where if you want to go for some great night sky viewing.
That's cool.
Where they regulate the amount of street lights and things.
The Dark Sky Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Slick. That's super cool. Well, there you go.
Nice.
Add it to our
Tribe
list.
says Fort Warden is cool to run through the
run
bunkers.
through the Those are fun.
Very neat.
See, we got it all. Why
Lots
would
of
you
great
want to live
places
anywhere else?
Waterfalls, lighthouses, mountains, ape caves.
You can go from
Stonehenge.
mountains to caves and
Yeah.
Well, let's get
stop
that
at Stonehenge in between.
get that border access cleared up, and we'll have a lot more visits. That's for sure.
Folks, thanks for joining us on tonight's episode of Caching in the Northwest. And until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.